G'day, beard brethren, Sheilas, fuckheads, and just all-round legends. You know it. It's another week of Two Beards of Podcast and Wrexham AFC, where we get to bring you all the news and everything Wrexham from us down under Aussies. Adrian, that's my host over there, mate. How you going?
Yeah, good, mate. I don't know why, but my brain's just gone completely Rousey mode at the moment, and I thought you were going to be like, "Welcome to Two Beards, One Cup." I don't know why, but that was just what kind of went through my head when you started the intro today. So,
Two Beards, a
times.
toaster, and Wrexham AFC.
Can't tell if that's to have a bath with or put a penis in. But we'll get into that later on in the episode.
Cookies and cream Pop-Tarts, mate. Just
anyways.
Pop a spot over a toaster and off you go.
What a wild weekend. What a wild start. No, you're right, mate. It's been good, mate. It's been good. It's been a bit of a topsy-turvy weekend, but nothing to frown about. Fourth in the league. And I actually look forward to your take on this one, because I reckon this is the first time in a couple of weeks where we're in a complete agreement around how we played on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So just before we get into it, be sure to, if you like this content and you want more of it, hit like, subscribe, and share. We also have a fans-only program, or what we like to call fuckheads. So if you want to become a fuckhead, link will be in the description, or you can head over to twobeards.com, and have a look. So it's $5 a month, and you get shout outs, you get access to a fans only Discord, you get giveaways and 10% off merch and plenty more. But we do like to give our fuckheads a nice little shout out.
I'll run it off, mate. I'll run it off. I'm ready. Right. Fucking ready. I'm gonna try different ways of shouting out every week. I think when we hit 10 fuckheads in the Discord, I think I'll do it in song. I'll bring a guitar out. I'll make a big deal out of it. But for now, I'm just going to run them off. Sarah, John, Will, Aaron, Chris, Ryan, the gang.
The gang. That's all right.
Rousey as well, guys. You know, can't forget Rousey.
I flitter in and out every so often and like to cause a bit of problem, but
I love that every so often. Yeah. And then like you just log in one night and it's just this random Instagram reel that he's found on the dark web somewhere. And it's usually hilarity ensues, that's for sure. But honestly, it is a good fun. Definitely check it out if you're willing. Even if you just like, share, and subscribe, it means a fuck ton to us. So we really appreciate it. But I am keen to get into the weekend.
Oh, yes. And I'm fucking keen too. It's like, just with the games over the weekend. So let's go after this. We will talk about women. Let's go. All right.
Getting interesting.
Women. In particular, Wrexham women.
There we go.
Let's go with that. All right. So we got our Wrexham women doing like absolutely gangbusters on the field at the moment, and I've got to say, mate, like fucking our women at the moment are just a second to none.
Yeah, I am so in agreement with you, mate. They had obviously a tough battle a couple of weeks ago against Cardiff, but honestly, to get the result that they did, that was the hardest fought they've probably had to do in a while. I know that, like that playoff final last year was a bit different. It was obviously a bit more do or die.
It
was very tough.
And they were playing a team called Aberystwyth.
Say that 10 times fast.
Aberystwyth. There we go. Got it right. Aberystwyth. Okay. So they were playing them, and they have beaten everyone in the league so far, and they come up against us, the Wrexham women, and we had goals from none other than Rosie Hughes and forget the lady's first name, but Pritchard.
Yep.
So tell you what, that looked like a fucking hard fought game. Like, Jesus,
tooth and nail, mate, tooth and nail. And like,
yeah,
I think to be able to pull up the way they did, scoring the 2 goals, being able to kind of pick up that momentum and go, you know what? Backs against the wall here. We're going to just throw everything we've got at them. And that second half, as much as there was obviously the goals through that first half, that second half, that way that they held off and the way that they were able to, I don't even know. It was a physical game, and it was back and forth.
For a team like Aberystwyth, who's actually won or beaten everyone so far in the league, they were out on their arse in that second half because they were dropping like flies. Who getting injured. They ran out of subs because they just couldn't get going. They're cramping up all over the place, getting injured. They just could not keep up the pace. And so it makes me think, our girls have got something. Like if they can do that.
Why not? Why not? Because this is the Premier Division in Welsh women's football. This is, this is Everest. This is what they're trying to do, is climb. And if they can climb it, win the whole thing, do it straight after just getting promoted into this league, that's massive. And forgive me, I don't know the knowledge behind it, but I would doubt that it's happened before. But definitely forgive me if I'm wrong. Feel free to fucking roast me in the comments. But what I think, and I want to just go off of what you just said, they were undefeated, right? And then we've come up against them. We've been able to put on a show that we always do. And now all of a sudden, I think from what I understand throughout the year, obviously to win the title is to win the trophy. We get that, but it's also to get into that, basically that Champions League spot for the women's. Is that right, Rousey?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. There's, a sort of like Wales team spot or open or something for the champions. So, I just think I enjoyed watching them, watch the game from start to finish as well. And now it's on iFollow.
Oh, how good is that? How good is that for international fans, man?
Geez. Yeah. Yeah. So, it's like the nights you would normally sit there watching Pornhub, you've now got more chance of, seeing a Wrexham game, which in my opinion is better than spanking it. So, bring on the more games on iFollow. That's what we need.
All right. And look, and if you were wondering where the money goes when we get our, fuckhead program, the $5 a month, it just goes towards Rousey's Pornhub Premium. But no, it doesn't. It goes to things like iFollow.
Why would you pay for Pornhub Premium? That makes no sense. So it's like if you're gonna do it, like if you've got it there for free, a dick's a dick at the end of the day, and it's once you've seen one, you've seen them all. So it's like, why would you pay for it? And it doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. So I do.
What's the content you're watching? Hold on, I just want to go back 2 steps. What content are you watching, mate?
Huh?
It's all right. Look, honestly, off that topic, I think you are correct. It is something that
you fast forward to the money shot, and then you're done. So.
Jesus Christ. Anywho, we talk about being Wrexham, and you know what? You're right. It is like the Saturday nights we catch up to watch the games. We get to hang out in the Discord, but now we've got another night which is dedicated to the women's team, and it's something that I felt like we missed out on a lot of. Obviously, the big games being on the YouTube, the S4C, or whatever the website is, that was where it was. But now to have it on iFollow, it's just more content. And honestly, now I'm starting to go, okay, the money that we fork out for iFollow, which is pretty premium, guys. Like, there's nothing like that in Australia for any other sports content. I can't think of any other content.
It's friggin' expensive.
It's expensive, but now I'm starting to understand it's worth it now.
It's only expensive because the exchange rate is shit. So the fact that you can have, you pay, I think it's like £248, which I think is, what's that in Australian? That's like almost $415, $410. It wasn't cheap. So now the fact that we watch the men on the Saturday night and then the women on the Sunday night, it's just. I sold
Rousey's kidney for that. Like Rousey's like, how are we going to pay for this? I'm like, I've got an idea. Black market. We got Rousey's kidney on there. then this is why I'm bald, guys. I actually originally had hair, but we had to do the hair transplant on the black market. Someone wanted ginger hair for some reason. I'm guessing it was for Halloween or something. But anyways, I digress. High follow is expensive, but I think it's well worth it now.
I wanted ginger pubes. I bought it. Sorry, mate.
It's all right. It's fair. It's fair. Oh my God. But can I ask you, like, I know that we love making these jokes and we've now lent into it a bit more because we understand that, one, you guys seem to like it, which is great. Thank you. Appreciate it. But also, I've come to know that Rousey is super unpredictable because you'll have an episode where I think it was not last week, but the week before, where I ended up being the dirty mind. And all of a sudden he's like, Adrian, how dare you? You're a dirty man. And I was like, hold on, I'm just pulling a Rousey here. What the fuck? Like, and this is the problem. You can never predict. So you can think we're going to go serious one episode and then Rousey just takes a left turn. Do you come into these things with that mindset where you're like, today I'm going to fuck shit up? Or like, you're like, just play it, wing it as you go?
Oh, mate. It's interesting because like when you talk about podcasters and you get some which are very dry and drab, very monotone, talks the whole, just wants to rattle off statistics. And I've always been that sort of like, well, you just off the cuff, be yourself and have a bit of fun and see where it goes. So
I love that, man.
I think maybe yeah, there is an element of like I come into it like in some moods I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck shit up. Or can I get us cancelled this week or some shit like that? But
you do a pretty good job, but I must admit, I'm starting to chuckle in the car. Like, you guys, like, yes, I'm that vain person who listens back to our own podcast. Sue me. But like, I'll listen back to it like on a drive and I'm just listening to Rousey list off the same joke I've already heard during the recording. And I'm like still laughing my ass off in the car. So, but well done, mate. I appreciate it.
They say listening to yourself back or watching yourself back on YouTube videos that you make is akin to having a wank in the mirror. Wait for it.
The way you looked down made it look like you were looking at a scripted like response. Like you were like, it's a wank in the mirror. Like I don't know. Oh my God, this one, I'm calling this one off the rails because this one has been derailed this episode.
Very derailed. We're talking about the women and what great game. They actually played on that 3G pitch that old Rob Layton likes to get himself injured on. They played on the 3G pitch, so thank God we got away with no injuries. But
it didn't look like they did, though. They walked off with a couple people running out of subs, mate.
Yeah, they ran out of subs. The poor girl at the end, what was her name? Christy or something. She could not move. She was in tears, but they could not sub her off because that means they're left with 10 women on the field, not 10 men, 10 women. To get it right. All right. The men were at home ironing the clothes, making the dinners. Role reversal. Nah, I don't know. But look, the women were on fire and they were playing on the 3G pitch. And I just think, I think we got to expect good things from our women. They've really taken to this league with like a flight of shit, basically. So, yeah.
Well, they can play on a paddock, they can play on artificial pitches, they can play anywhere. And honestly, like we have a saying here in Australia: anytime, anywhere, 1-3 cabs will get you there. But I think it's got to be anytime, anywhere. The Wrexham women will get you there because they're going to get to. Honestly, I don't see them not getting at least top 2. Because I know Cardiff are a hard ticket, even Swansea as well. But honestly, we are looking better. I know Swansea, I think they won the title last year. I don't think they're doing as well this year. I think they're like around 5th last time I checked. Not the point. Point is, I think that they could really do some serious damage. And geez, could you imagine getting into Europe? Like what
Oh, yeah.
what kind of parties we'll be having if that happens.
Oh,
Be good,
that'd
mate. It'd be good.
That'd be big. So look, women doing great, but now we go on to the weekend's game, which was at Bradford. So after this, let's roll it. Bradford, motherfucking city. Another draw. We drew against them last time, but lost on pens because it was a cup round. But this time we get to try again at their home, and we drew yet again.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I think we should have actually won that. And the only reason we didn't win it was because Mendy failed to control the ball, and which led to their second goal. So if you actually watch their replay, which I'm going to put down below, if you watch their replay, you see Mendy, he's trying to control the ball to the ground, but it gets away from him and gets stolen. And that, you know, when you're losing the ball that close to the penalty area, you're basically done for. So
yeah,
that was, you know, a Mendy mistake that led to that goal. And he had actually controlled that and actually did it right, we probably would have won the game. Let's be honest.
I'm gonna counter that with the simple fact that he was put in the wrong position. Parky basically put him in right back, just cause. And I'm sorry, I know he made the mistake and he did, and he should have done better. I'm not disputing that. He should have done better, and it did cost us. But don't put a guy who's not played in that position ever in his fucking life, maybe in training.
I disagree with you, mate, because fucking Parky a little while ago said that Mendy used to play as a right back.
But he doesn't now, so it's not the point.
Obviously, he's more focused on being a left, but he is more than capable of playing in the right. And
Okonkwo used to be a striker, but we're not going to put him striker. You know what I mean? Like when he was a teen, he was playing like, you know, like I think I'm you know what, I've seen the discourse on Twitter where people have gone into Mendy, and you've seen people, you know, from the bigger.
Oh look, Mendy's a great player. I'm not actually saying that he's not a great player.
I'm not saying that either. But it was a Parky mistake
that he had led to Bradford City scoring.
Yeah.
And you know, look, it happens. It's football. It fucking happens. Everyone makes mistakes. So we're not going to lambast the guy for it. But
no,
if you do take away that mistake, we probably win the game.
Yep, for sure. And I think the thing that everyone's questioning, and I don't know if you've seen the discourse on X, but basically there is a big following basically saying, yeah, look, Parky probably made a blunder there. If he makes a different decision, he makes put someone who's meant to be at right back there, then, you know, that doesn't happen. He's done things like this before. He's not invincible either. I think there's a lot of people around going, you know, but Parky's the best. In Parky we trust. Oh, bro, I trust him. I trust him to take us to promotion, 100%. But doesn't mean he's immune from making mistakes, and he made a mistake on the weekend. Mendy also made a mistake, but that's a little bit 50-50 blame in terms of you got to put a bit on the coach as well, because they're the person who makes that decision. The whatever fruit rots at the top, I can't remember the saying. Anyways, is definitely a big one. But let's get into the positives. The big one.
What? Anyway, sorry, what?
Let's talk about the positives.
We're getting into the positives. Oh, yeah.
Paul Mullen, mate. Paul Mullen. How good was it to get him back on the score sheet? Fuck, I love it when he celebrates. Go. I want to hear your take, because your Paul Mullen takes are great.
Paul Mullen. Oh, wow. Do you know, put me in a strip club full of Paul Mullens. They can dance on the pole and score goals all night. As far as I'm concerned, Paul Mullen is absolute god.
Doesn't even make sense.
Paul, I don't know where I was going with that, but it sounded good in my mind. Come on.
It doesn't even make sense.
Oh gosh, he's broken again. He's broken. I've done it again, guys. I've just
Okay, I didn't even know this
it.
was guys. I'm thinking he's going to come in with like Paul Mullen, because he has these good speeches ready, and I don't know if he's been sitting on that or if he's just come up with it. But fuck me, that makes no sense whatsoever. But you know what? I bloody love you for it, mate. That is.
Yeah, you're sitting there in tears, bloody laughing at it because I'm saying I want to be in the strip club full of Paul Mullins.
It's nothing to do with it. It's the fact that you use Paul and Paul. Oh, fuck me.
Shit.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
I literally said to him before we got on air, he made a joke over the weekend that literally had me howling to the point of tears. And I said, nothing will top that. It's getting close. That's getting pretty close. And it's been fucking 20 minutes.
You open the door, you're like, let's hear you say something good about Paul Mullen. I was just like, well,
I just thought you were just going to be inspirational, but then you go into Paul Mullen. I'm just going to send you, every time Paul Mullen scores, I'm just going to send you different fucking Google images of poles. And not even stripper poles, just like flag poles and fucking.
Oh, man, this has gone so horribly wrong.
Off the rails is this episode. Welcome
back on track. Anyway, speaking of the game, because that Paul Mullen goal was amazing. That Barnett cross, like, oh wow, like
we missed that.
You could see, and that was started by McLean doing an overhead flick off to Lee. Lee straight away passed it up to Barnett, and Barnett then with a picture perfect cross had two targets. He had Palmer and he had Mullen, and you see Palmer go for it, but it was just over him, and Mullen was just sitting there right behind him like the absolute angel he is. Just took it and scored the goal, which was just amazing. But
that was the speech I was thinking was coming. But that's the thing I was referring to. Well put, mate. Well put. But you know what? You mentioned that Barnett cross. That's something that we've missed. I feel like I know he's only gone for a game or two. I can't even remember now. But basically, he's been underrated. I know a lot of people are like, oh, all he does is run bloody headless, blah, blah, blah. He's composed. When he gets forward, it's exciting because there's a big chance that a big Paul Mullen or a big Ollie Palmer or big Elliot Lee, I'm just going to all call them big boys, but that like the big three, if any of those guys are getting it, it's going to go in the back of the net. And Barnett, we've missed that. And like you said, McLean being able to, I guess, start that play off, again, just testament to the man that he is. I still think McLean is still yet to hit his stride, and he's doing really well.
I'm seeing these little improvements every single game. They're just they're starting to gel. It's coming. It's coming. We're setting up for that post-Christmas run. I can feel it. But
feel it in my plums.
Feel it in my plums. But what was the go with that? Did you notice at the start of the game there was that like combi van type thing that was bringing the ball out to the center?
Oh, fuck me. I saw that.
What the fuck is that shit?
I'll be honest, mate, and I want to rip into it. Yeah, that is probably where I went with it. But honestly, I want to rip into it. But the A-League used to be sponsored. I'm pretty sure they're sponsored by Isuzu now. But I think they still do it because Isuzu trucks, they have like a fucking tray on the back and you can put the ball on there. They do that. But they do that for like grand finals, for like the finals. This was a fucking round 14, like match day 14 match against fucking Wrexham, and they're like, guys, we have to pull out all the stops. Not only are all our fans going to come to this game, but we're going to bring out a remote control car that's going to bring the ball out. God, it's going to be beautiful. And honestly, they've been absolutely ripped apart for it. It's been good. It's been good. But you know what? The other one I loved. Did you see the Parky banner in the Bradford end?
Now I'm going to search the internet.
Yep. Parky, the special one, I think it said. Or like how Jose Mourinho is named like the special one.
Yeah, well, they're probably trying to hope that Parky will come back because they've lost their manager recently, haven't they? So
yeah,
they're probably like, oh, get Parky back. Fat fucking chance.
No, 100%, 100%. There's three things that have happened from this game, and they all point to one thing: the fucking remote control car the full house attendance when they haven't done that in years. And the third and final dagger is that sign. They all just want to be on the doco, mate. It's literally becoming obvious. People who are Bradford fans who are they've been amazing, by the way. Like I've got such respect for them as a club and as a fan base.
21,000
really good of
packed
them.
out stadium for a League Two game.
It's pretty amazing. Don't get me wrong. But I want to just shit on the people who are literally posting. There was a guy who posted, "Good morning, Wrexham," like with the equalizer. And I'm like, you didn't win. Like, one, you didn't win. Two, it was like a game that like we didn't even play well in. Like we didn't even hit like our final form, mate. Like it was just so funny. Whereas again, 99% of the Bradford fans have been lovely. You know, again, great club. I really like them. I think they've got a great history, and yeah, just I can't speak highly enough, but it's that small 1% that a lot of teams have. We have it too. I guess people probably think we're that 1%, but they are absolute numpties. And I cannot tell you how much that ruins an image for someone when it's just like everyone's posting nice stuff. Well done. Good job. Great game. Can't wait to play you on the other leg. That all gets missed. No one likes those tweets. No one retweets that. But if you're a Bradford fan and you've retweeted saying, "How does that one taste, Wrexham?" or some shit like that, you're getting retweeted and it's circling around. It just gives your fan base a bad name, mate. So to that numpty, stop. You're ruining it for everyone.
Yeah,
right?
You end up drawing at your own home. So,
yep.
You know, and whereas they're supposed to be on some form, and you almost lost. But anyway,
yeah.
So we're thinking about man of the match for this game, and we know that
I'm with
the pundits tend to give it to O'Connell, but my man of the match, I'm actually going to say Fletcher. I was really impressed with him starting. And if you're one of these guys that have turned out and said, "Oh, Fletcher should be just a super sub and not start," are you fucking daft or what? Like, he was on fire on the weekend.
For his first start in probably a year, at least a calendar year, his first start of, maybe I've fucked up, maybe I'm forgetting a game that he did, but
no,
first start.
It was his first full start.
First full start. You can't expect the man to light the fucking place on fire, but he still did well and he did his job, and we didn't play well. As much as we almost won it, we didn't play well.
Almost problems, you know, and it was on the start of a lot of those runs that he created. So, you know, I just liked his passing. He was efficient. He was fierce. He was getting involved with everything. He's completely fearless. I just have to give my man of the match to good old Fletch.
Yeah. I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. Honestly, like I said, guys, like we disagree on most things, but that's just because everyone's got an opinion, you know, and that's okay. And I think that's what I love about Wrexham. Yes, okay, there are some people who take their opinions and just go daft and lose their mind and go nuts on Twitter. But most people are pretty open to hearing about it. Like the Mendy discourse, I reckon I saw 50-50 people blaming Mendy, people blaming Parky. Again, there's no right answer. It's just I don't think
Mendy had a bad game. I do not think Mendy had a bad game. I just think all I simply said was it was that one mistake that led to their goal.
No, but that's what I'm saying but that's still an opinion that you're allowed to have it. And it's the same with Fletcher being, you know, a lot of people like he should go back to doing it. It's like, what did you expect him to do? The time that he's on, let's say he's on 20 minutes at the end of the game, 25 minutes, right? He's on for 25 minutes. He's being able to run flat out for 25 minutes. I get people's point. They're like, "Oh yeah, but we want that consistently." It's like, well, he's still doing it. He's just not doing it in the full 60 because he's old, guys. I love him, but he's older and he's not going to be able to keep up with that. So if he is starting, we got to cut him a little bit of slack in the sense that, well, he still did his 25 minutes of still on fire. But yes, we would love to have Ollie Palmer be back on the ground for the same. But the same thing happens with Ollie. When Ollie comes on, it's like, whoa, look at that. But again, he can't do it for the full.
I'll tell you what I really did like and what I saw different out of the team on the weekend compared to previous games is that they didn't start slow. They came out and went at it.
Great call. Great call. Great call. That's like name a game. I'm thinking Barrow's probably the last game where I can remember us being that like full pace at the start. Because like you said, we have such slow starts. We have such fumbling around and we take our time to feel out the game in the first 20 minutes. We didn't do that against Barrow. We drew that one. We didn't do it against Bradford. We drew that one. So it's very interesting to see how this works. But
loads of draws. But the most important thing is that other than Stockport, we have not been beaten by anyone inside the top 10. So that's a really good stat to take away. It's
a good call.
Which is very promising. Very promising. Yeah. So
just makes that MK Dons loss hurt a little bit more.
We got draws, all that sort of. So what? A draw does not mean you got beat. It means that you were as good as the team you played on the day. So
I think it starts becoming an issue when we're still doing it in the new year. I think you're right. Like if I'm kind of on that bandwagon of draws are only 1 point though. Do you know what I mean? Like we should be getting full points a lot of these games. But again, I think I don't know who said it on Twitter. So
but even though we've played most of the top 10, a majority of the top 10 have not played each other yet. They've played 1 or 2 games here and there, but they haven't gone. We've played pretty much every single team inside the top 10. So
yeah, no, and but like someone said on the internet, basically put a screenshot of the last 5 games, and they said, "Tell me you wouldn't take that at the start of the season. At the start of the season, if you saw those results, tell me you wouldn't take that." And he's got a point. I would take it every day of the week. So, look, like you said, you would. There it is. But look, draws are draws. We need full points. We need to start taking full scalps when we can. Like you said, when we can. So again, against Sutton, we've got Sutton on the weekend in a little Tuesday, which is Wednesday morning slot for us. We're going to briefly touch on it because when this releases, the game will have played. I'm making a slightly big call here. I think if we do not walk away with full 3 points, then we can start asking questions.
Let's get on to that. So after this, we will talk Sutton and we'll talk Knots. Let's do it.
That's right. We have to play the ad. All right, here's the ad. Are you bald, ginger, and struggling to find love? Well, have I got the thing for you?
Motherfucker, you know I've got to roll this ad break shortly, right? Right, yeah.
What ad break? What ad break? We don't have ads.
All right. Shush. Zip it. Let's go. Woo! All right, so now we're back after covering that ad break. If there's an ad in there, which there probably isn't, it's just a funky old sting by our fellow at Hypnotic from Will. So they've made some stings for us and we like that one, so we use it. But anyway, we're going to be talking now about the games upcoming. So we've got Sutton on Tuesday, which will be Wednesday morning our time at 2:45 a.m. in the morning for WA viewers. And of course, a bit more respectable. What's that? 4:45?
Yeah, depends where you are. 4:45 for me, 5:15 for most people on the East Coast. It's still shit.
A bit more respectable than 2:45 in the morning, but anyway.
Still doesn't matter how you shake it, still shit.
I'm not really going to say too much about Sutton. They've only won 1 of their last 5, and they've not been able to scrape together draws. They're coming up against Wrexham at home. If we can't put 3-0 past them, or I wouldn't say 3-0, but 3 past them, then I think we do have to start asking questions about our strike force.
Because honestly, bro, like if we're like ignoring that, like as much as I think we should be putting 3-4 past them, ignoring that, if we don't walk away with 3 points, even if we walk away with a draw, that's when you go, how everyone talks about, oh no, that draw felt like a win or that draw felt like a loss. that's going to feel like 2 losses because that's at home. That's against one of the basically contenders for relegation. And we need to be making a statement now, or else we're going to be catching up in January. And all of a sudden, if we don't make the right calls in terms of transfers, signing on people, then we're riding a lot on the Luke Armstrongs of the world coming into our side and hopefully saving the day. But I don't see that happening. So we need to make sure that we are pulling the points that we should be doing. I don't care about the hard games, not on the weekend. We'll get to that in a moment. But strictly put, if we don't pull 3 points out of our ass against Sutton, I will be asking questions. You will be asking questions. And next week we can really delve into that.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I think they can have their moments. They can be problematic. They did beat Notts County 5-1. So
was that Sutton or was that Colchester?
That was Sutton, mate. Sutton.
Fucking hell.
Yep. At home. They played Notts County and they beat them 5-1. So that can be problematic. They obviously they can turn it on for the big occasions, more important games, but you're coming up against the Wrexham side at the Stoke Kairos. I don't see this going their way, and like I said, I think they've got to put at least 3 past them. I'm actually going to think it's either going to be a 3-0 clean sheet or it's going to be 3-1.
Yeah. I mean, we're still not defensively there. Like we could still smash a team, but still probably concede, and that's probably likely just with the way that we are up the back at the moment. So, look, I agree. It could be 3-1's probably sounds like a more accurate scoreline. We could be completely wrong. I will take 1-0 every day as long as we claim 3 points. But at the end of the day, we still got to try and get back into that goal difference, because if it comes down to automatic promotion and we're looking at closeness, our goal difference is going to shoot us in the head. So, yeah.
Yep. So, which also brings us to Notts County.
Yep.
So what was your prediction for Sutton?
I'm with you, 3-1.
3-1. We both agree yet again. What is going on with this world?
This is an off the rails episode, mate. Off the rails.
So Notts County will be on Saturday, which will be at 10 o'clock WA time. 12:30 Adelaide time, and
1 o'clock for the Eastern Standard viewers.
The Eastern States. So, and if you're living in a certain section of Albany, which is apparently 45 minutes ahead of, but we're a little bit of geography here. But there is in WA, just towards the border with
my brain's melting,
South Australia, there is a small portion where it's actually just 45 minutes ahead. Just a random town.
Can you imagine accidentally crossing the border, right? And it's 45 difference for you, but for us it'd be 15 minutes because they'd be 15 minutes ahead of what we've got, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just get across the border. Oh no, I lost 15 minutes. Like that's imagine feeling jet lag on that one. Fuck. What, like I just came home. Where you been? Just 15 minutes down the road. Legit 15 minutes traveling. That's just fucking dumb. Anyway.
So we come to Notts County on Saturday night, and wow, this feels like a very big one, this one, doesn't it?
It's the reunion. It's the reunion of the promoted sides, and I think we are looking at another epic. I mean, we lost the first one last year against them. We obviously made redemption in that
we beat them when it counted.
When that Foz moment happened, exactly when it counted. But this one is a bit of a hard one because you could easily say this one matters a little bit too. Not only is there a bit of bragging rights on the board, but to take points away from them at their home paddock, that'd be nice. Even if it's I'm not wanting a draw, I want us to win, of course. But even if we took a draw away from it and then maybe won the home league, I think that would be a successful.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
campaign.
I just want to look at some of their games. Okay. So, I mean, they're obviously coming up. They're playing Newport County on the weekend. So,
yep.
Yeah, it could be an interesting one. They've got
that
2
one's
home
midweek,
games
isn't it?
back to back. 2 home games back to back. Right. So we got they last played Gillingham on the weekend where they won 2-1, and they, in my opinion, they got lucky there.
Yeah.
They lost to Mansfield, which is who we drew against. They lost 4-1. They got stomped.
And we've got them in the FA Cup. Woo!
Yeah.
Not.
They lost to Derby County. They drew against Barrow. They won against Swindon. They lost against Colchester. They just won against Forest Green. They won clean sheet against Salford, and MK Dons they drew against. So that was their last couple of rounds. No one really of note on the count on the actual, like, probably maybe the most trouble I would have said would have been Mansfield, but Mansfield like, yeah, when you got Mansfield and Gillingham, you know,
honestly, the Gillingham game, like we watched the highlights before here, just to give it a bit of a recap on kind of what we were coming up against. And it was quite interesting because, like, yes, of course, they scored 2 great goals. Gillingham's also scored what I believe to be goal of the season so far. Holy shit, that play from I don't even know the guy's name, but he was spinning around like fucking ballerina. It was amazing. Anyways, the end of the game, there was obviously that penalty shout where you and I agreed Gillingham were kind of robbed there. He was basically pushed off the ball in the box and nothing was called. Probably should have got a penalty and probably would have scored. It would have taken only 1 point away. That's not to sniff at Notts either. Like, they are an incredible side. We know what they can do, and they will most likely go into that automatic promotion slot as well. But
speaking of penalty calls, though, of penalty calls, just to touch base, Numbat of the week. Numbat of the week has to go to Bradford players. The amount of penalty calls they tried to get, which were not penalty calls, thank God the referee was all right.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. I mean, but that's all it takes sometimes, right? Like, it takes the absolute oxygen out of a game when, you've got a contest like that and then you've got people just flailing their arms about going, yeah, I want the pen. Bro, like, we've had Mullen and Palmer absolutely getting shivved on the middle of the pitch. They're just getting fucking stabbed and they just don't care. So my sympathy for anyone who's calling for a pen in that game was fucking zero. So I'm with you, man. And at the end of the day, I think you nailed it on the head that we were lucky with the refereeing. I really hope we get someone to not suck the oxygen out. Notts County and Wrexham can be an epic. That first game we lost was a pretty good game.
I'm glad you said suck the oxygen then and not something else. But anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could we could talk about sucking dick all day, but we're not going to. But the way I look at it is, if we can have a contest and even take a point away, that's a good draw. And all of a sudden we bring it back to our paddock in a couple.
I think we beat them, mate. I honestly think we beat them this time.
Yeah.
And I know everyone likes to go for a safety score of 2-1. I either think it's going to be 1-0 or 2-1, and I think it's going to be a Wrexham win.
Yeah, I'm on the bandwagon of Wrexham winning 2-0. I've recently just got this bout of confidence. I don't know why. I mean, we just drew against Bradford, so here's me calling shit out of my ass. But I just feel like when we've always been the hunted, right? We're always the hunted. We talked about it. You talked about it last week. I've talked about it previous weeks as well. We're always the hunted. I feel like with Notts, there's that level playing field of, well, you just came up with us, and we actually won that league, and we made a pretty epic battle. If I'm Wrexham, I'm coming out going, you know what? I want to take their scalp. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying Wrexham come out every game and go, oh, I don't want to win. Like, I'm just saying, like, they have that extra bit of inspiration. I'm not saying it's a rivalry. I'm just saying that it's just a spur of the moment that people can go, you know what? We were competitive last year. We played them last year. We beat them last year. So why can't we do it again? And I genuinely think that'll spur them on. And to have it there at their home for the first time we play them, I actually think it's quite poetic because, again, I think they will become the hunted this weekend. Could be completely wrong. We could get our asses handed, but I think we will be hunting.
A lot of these teams seem to be throwing this high line at us, and like even on the weekend, Bradford were playing quite a high line because I think some of them have realised that the best way of possibly beating Wrexham is to play that high line,
Because
which
their
Notts
defense is
County have
fucking
become
matchsticks.
very famous for. So, it's, but I think we beat them before, we can do it again. And with their given current run of form, they do have some strikers, which I'm pretty sure we will be able to nullify. Probably a low scoring affair, but I think it's going to be a really exciting game and one that I'm probably going to have to recover from on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, if we win, I think me and Rouse will be on all of the beers and whatnot, and just having a party. But I think if we lose, it'd be a really good statement. Regardless, I think we need to be able to dissect it and look back and go, okay, that's the pinnacle then. And if we can't get there, then what can we do to get there? So
Yeah.
I think either way, it's going to be a good game, and I really look forward to it. I really hope we win. Really
Yep.
think it would be a
Get
good
over
one.
that, and then we've got a slew of reasonably easy games on paper anyway. Slew of easy games after that. So this run of facing all these top teams will be over, and we get a nice little run into Christmas. So we'll see how it goes. So what's your prediction on the weekend?
I'm thinking 2-0, Wrexham.
2-0 to Wrexham. Okie dokie. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, after this, we will wrap things up. Let's go. Well, that is us for another week. We have looked at the games. We have analyzed everything we could. We've had some laughs. We've had some dirty jokes, and we're all better for it. We all love life, and that's what it's about. You just got to have some fun and love life. And I
This
tell you
episode's
what, our
cooked.
last episode last week with Welsh Beast has just gone absolutely gangbusters. You guys have loved it. The feedback has been amazing. You're loving the reviews as well that we're putting up and giving us loads of likes and comments on that. And we really, really love to interact with our fans. So if you wanna get in touch, just drop a comment below. Get in touch with us on Twitter because we will pretty much always respond. We just like to interact with our fans, and we've got something going here and growing, which is great. And so if you do want more of this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And let us know what your thoughts were with the weekend's game and what your predictions are for this weekend in the comment down below. So Adrian, mate, final thoughts?
Today was fucked. No, I can't even put it in. Like, it was off the rails and I fucking loved it. And I like that I got to let loose a bit more. Maybe it's just the lack of sleep, but it's just been good to chat with you again, mate. And I look forward to next week.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. So we'll bring it on for next week. So we're going to be back next week with another episode and got a few interesting ones coming up. So stay tuned. We will, some very interesting ones. But if you want to know what they are, you have to be a fuckhead to find out. So twobeardsmedia.com or Linktree down below to join our fuckhead program, and then you'll be able to get all the spoilers and news of what is upcoming.
Then you can leak it to everyone, like WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
Be great.
Yeah, fucking leak it to everyone. Leak it to everyone. Why not? Tell everyone, but you heard it first in the fuckhead Discord. So
there you go.
So yeah, if that's your thing, if you like talking about butt plugs and looking at rude photos and random memes and weird Instagram reels, then by all means join up. So
I thought you ended it too wholesome.
Too wholesome. Well, got to sit on a butt plug every now and again. Turn on a toaster or two.
You heard it here. Yep, you heard it here first.
So
we need to turn this off before it gets cancelled.
Nah, should we just keep going? Do you reckon our audience wants us to just keep going and see how crazy this will get?
I think they just want us to jump off the nearest pier, but like, you know. Mate, thank you for today. I appreciate it. Had a good laugh. And I look forward to the next one because we have got some cool things planned. And like you said, goss in the Discord.
Exactly. All right, listeners, beer brethren, fuckheads, Sheilas, and just all round legends. We will see you guys next week. Let's go up to town.